Hi drummers, hope you're well. Right, little video for you here about sextuplets. Sextuplets or semi-quaver triplets are 6 notes per beat. They're one of my all-time favourite note values. I've always thought they've had a beautiful flow to them, a natural kind of rounded, kind of satisfying flow to them. And they sound like this. And here we go. So these are, as I say, 6 notes per beat, and this video will take you right back to basics on these and just take it up to a certain point where you're moving around the kit a little bit with them. I've actually done tons and tons and tons of videos that have sextuplets in them in various shapes and forms, and I'll link to lots of those in the description below. But I'll start at the beginning here. We'll go back to basics and we'll just have a little rattle through. Now, like I say, they're 6 notes per beat. They're semi-quaver triplets, but a triplet, the principle is 3 notes in the space of where you'd normally find 2. So semi-quavers go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 16th. And 16th note or semi-quaver triplets, well, there'd be 6 of them instead of 4, wouldn't there? 3 instead of 2. You getting it? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think a lot of drummers, me included, at this point, most of the time when you're playing sextuplets, people often they say to me, well, what's the count for this? And you can count 1 triplet and triplet, 2 triplet and triplet, 3 triplet and triplet, 4 triplet and triplet. And you can even count 1 and triplet and 2 and triplet and 3 and triplet and 4 and triplet, and kind of depending how you phrase it. But I really feel strongly that at this sort of stage, you've got to start feeling this thing, man. This game is all about feel. The note value and counting thing is brilliant, especially when you're going slow and working your way up, and when you're working stuff out, you know, it's your sort of candle in the dark when things get tricky. But really, you've got to feel the thing, man. That's what this game is all about. So we're going to start here just by playing simply single stroke roll sticking. So start with your lead hand. I'm going to start with my right stick because I'm right-handed, and we're going to play right, left, right, left, right, left on each beat. We'll just do it on a snare drum or practice pad at first. We'll go real slow. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. As you can see, there are a couple of things I'm doing which I think help, or generally help drummers when they're starting out with this. Number 1, playing a bass drum on the beat, like on the quarter note or on the crotchet, just to kind of drive it all along and keep it even, kind of give you a pulse. And I'm also playing a little accent on the beat as well, right, with my lead stick. Well, let's do that a little bit more. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Here we go. You can also say cucumber, cucumber, right? 2 cucumbers on each beat. Cucumber, 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 cucumber. So a really nice thing to do then, what we often do in the lessons that I teach face-to-face and on Zoom as well, is just play a bar of groove, right? A straight 8s type of groove. And then we'll just play that 1 bar of sextuplets, because again, we want to get the feel for the thing, man. One of the things that's really important is not just getting it, but obviously massively important is getting it to fit and lock in with and flow with a groove that you're playing. Like, assuming that you're going to use this in a drum fill in some shape or form, you need it to match, man, with your groove. That's what this game's all about. People come to your gig, they're dancing away. You don't want them to be suddenly like having to do something different when your drum fill comes in. Drum fills have to groove, man. That's the whole thing. That guy or that girl at your gig dancing or sitting at the back, nodding, loving it, just grooving along. They want to still be grooving, man. Like whether you're playing a groove or a drum fill, that's not their business. They just want to groove, man. And if they're not doing that, you're not doing your job as far as I'm concerned. So it's got to fit, man. It's got to flow. So we're going to go bar of groove and a bar of sextuplets on the snare drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. And sextuplets. 1, 2, 3, 3 and 4. Here it comes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Obviously, when you're practicing this at home, stick your metronome on as well at a reasonable speed, so you just know that you're totally locked in with it. Cool. Next step is we're just going to start moving around the kit a little bit here. We're still going to play a little accent on the beat, and we're still going to play our bass drum on the beat as well. And let's now play beat 1 on the snare, beat 2 on the high tom, beat 3 on the mid tom if you've got one, and beat 4 on the floor tom. If you haven't got a second tom, that's fine. Just come back to the snare drum. So we go. We'll go around the kit in this fashion. I really like the 4 drum setup, as in snare and 3 toms, because when you're working on stuff, especially when you're starting out, man, you've got those 4 beats in the bar at first, haven't you? 1, 2, 3, 4. I really love that. It helps it keep everything nice and clear in our heads, I think. So now we're going to go 1 bar groove, about the same tempo as before, but we're going to take our drum fill around the kit. We're going to play 1 little sextuplet, 1 little group of semi-quaver triplets. That is 6 hits, 1 beat on each part of the kit as we go around. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and drum fill. And 3 and 4, here it comes. And 2 and 3 and again and. And here we go. So that's the basic idea there. Now, like everything under the sun on drums, just like a drum rudiment, 2 ways of practicing that. Number 1, steady tempo. So get your click on, get your metronome on, play along with some music, just groove it, groove and fill. Or, and as well, I'll just alternate these, like one day then the other. The next option is to go slow to fast to slow. This is how we build our speed and our flow. So let's do that now. We'll go slow, fast, work up to fast. By fast, we mean our improvement zone. So the zone where we can just about play it, and it's still recognizable as the thing, sextuplets, and has some kind of flow to it. We're not too tight and too tense. We hold it there for a bit, 30 seconds or so, and then we bring it back down. I've said this in other videos as well. I think of a tension scale where 10 is like way too tight, horrible, you never want to play like that, and 0 is too loose. When we're on stage playing, it's all going well. I tend to think we're about like a 2 or a 3 out of 10 tension there. Do you know what I mean? This isn't just about drums. This is about just about everything in life. Anything you're doing. When you're loose, when it's flowing, when you're feeling good, I think of that as about a 2 or a 3, like an optimum. When you're pushing here into your improvement zone to build speed, I think it's fine to go up to like a 5 or a 6 maybe, but don't go crazy. Age-old principle, man. Age-old principle of learning drums or pretty much doing anything else. If you're getting to the stage where you're saying, this is hard, I can't do it, this is frustrating, it's because you've pushed too far. Just into the zone where you can just about still do it, but it's a little bit of an enjoyable challenge. That feeling of being a little bit stretched, you're comfortable, being a little bit uncomfortable, but just into that zone, that's all. Not crazy fast, man. So here we go. Let's do that one time. We'll start slow, work up. 2 and 3 and 4 and sextuplets around the kit. Okay, bit by bit, we're going to work it up a little bit. Nice and bouncy. Bounce the sticks back. Oh, rebound them off your drums. Say this is where you are. Let's stay here. A couple more times. Let's slow it down a bit. And right to slow. Even slower for the last time of all. Now people often say when we do that, oh, I can't go that fast, I can't go that fast. Well, that's fine. That's the point. That's why you do this practice. You go slow, you work up to your personal improvement zone, the zone where you can just about do it, but it's a bit of a stretch. It might be the speed that I was going at slow there. That's completely fine. It's all good. You've got to build it in your own way, man. Obviously, these videos are a sort of catch-all for everybody out there. Obviously, when we do sessions, I'll work with that with you and we can play it together and that kind of stuff. But if you're working on your own here, yeah, just start slow, start at a speed where you know you're getting it right, and just push it up into that zone where you're in that improvement zone. Your tension goes up a little bit, but you can still do it, and it's a little bit of a stretch. You can build the speed in that way. Lovely. So that's a really good place to start. Now, the next thing with sextuplets that we would do in a session is then start to move around the kit in some different ways. And I like to really leave this quite open. I love the idea of people just exploring here. This is what musicians do, right? So the thing about doing grades and stuff like that is if you only do head stuff, you get a bit into the idea, the false idea that you just play, like a drummer just plays drum parts, so they kind of recite a written part. Well, sometimes that's what you do. Depends on the gig, man. Depends on the night, what you're playing. Sometimes your job is to play off a score. Great. In that case, play your part. Don't mess around just like an actor on stage. Say your lines. Like if you get a gig in a Shakespeare play, right? You're not going to suddenly start freestyling. You're going to say the blooming lines, right? That's the thing on a great work like that. That's the gig. But other times for a drummer it isn't. Other times it's all about being creative and coming up with your own stuff. It's one of the best things about being a drummer is actually we live in both of those worlds. We live in the world of playing parts that have been prescribed for us, and also in the world of being creative. Those things can be completely different, or they can happen within the same gig as well. It all depends what you're playing. So now what I really love to do is just have a noodle around, and this is what musicians do. Same game on guitar, piano, trumpet, or anything that has any sort of improvised or creative element to it. It's the same old game. A musician takes a basic idea and they noodle on it. So what we're going to do here is exactly the same thing. We'll go steady tempo here. We'll go sextuplets, single stroke roll. We'll play it a couple of times as we were before. 1, 2, 3, 4. But now we're just going to start after that to move our sticks into some different positions. Massive point here. Don't worry, it will fall apart. Like, don't panic. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not rubbish at this. Don't write yourself off. Just have a play. Just experiment. The game is actually not being thrown off the sounds that you're hearing. Well, not being thrown off by the sounds that you're hearing. Like sticking to, if you're right-handed, going right, left, right, left, right, left, those 6 times. Keeping that bass drum on the beat will really help, and playing the accent on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4 will really help here, because then what you can do is sort of stay anchored on that. The sounds that will happen as you play randomly around the kit, different sounds will come out. You can kind of surprise yourself with this, which is a ton of fun. Different sounds will come out. Just go with it, man. Go with it. And if you come unstuck, that's completely fine. Stop and start again. No big deal. This is where you experiment, right? This is where, like, another very important point, I think, is that practice, remember, and performing on your instrument are 2 completely different things. You wouldn't even want anybody to be overhearing you when you're doing this. You're experimenting. You're in the lab here, just trying things. This is where so much good stuff is created. But you're not performing here. Like, no, I always think, like, even your favorite drummers in the world, you wouldn't necessarily, or you wouldn't want to hear them practice all the time, because if they're doing it right, they're often doing stuff where they're making mistakes. So cool. They're not mistakes when you're in the practice room, but mistakes. They're figuring stuff out. They're sort of they're shedding wood, man. They're getting rid of stuff that doesn't work. They're figuring their way through stuff. That's exactly what musicians do. They noodle around and find things that they like. So now we're just going to do exactly the same thing. 1 bar groove, 1 bar fill made of sextuplets. As I say, first couple of times we'll stick to that 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, we're just going to start moving around a little bit. Don't be thrown off by the different sounds that you hear. See if you can keep that flow. Here we go, man. 1 and 2 and 1 bar groove. Here we go. Okay, first time as before. And one more time like that. Okay, this time, have a little bit of fun, man. Seeing that? So same sticking. And same rhythm. Have a bit of practice here, with a bit of practice. You'll get a feel for certain things that you like to play, right? And 3 and 4 and... faster. Now again, you don't have to go the speed I'm going here. Just noodle, experiment. If you're going like that and just working it out and making sure that you're going 6 notes per beat, brilliant. Well done. That's great practice, man. Lovely stuff. If that's the stage you're at, awesome. So we'll leave it at that, I think, for this video. That'd be a great sort of place to start. That would be the basics of playing sextuplets. Of course, we don't always play sextuplets all the way through the bar like this, but just in the name of getting some flow going, and just this is what this is all about, just making friends with this note value, feeling it, just getting it in your blood a little bit so you're ready to play it. I would say stick with the sextuplets all the way through the bar, just when you're practicing it like this at first. Obviously in the end it will be within drum fills, and I would say more often than not, it won't be that feel all the way through the bar, but we'll go with that just for now. You're just, again, you're not performing here, you're practicing, you're just figuring it out, you're getting a feel for it, you're spending quality time, man, with this note value and this flow and just getting to know it a little bit. This is what musicians do to get good, right? Cool, so that's where we'll leave it on that one. The next steps, and I'll do videos about this very soon, second and third parts of this, are things like adding in accents to that flow, so some notes are louder than others. Changing up the sticking, so playing different stickings, moving away from single stroke roll. Things like adding in the bass drum to make little linear patterns. And loads of other stuff like that, changing up the sticking, different rudiment type stickings, and it's just endless from there, right? So we can go on and look at all of that stuff a little bit further down the line. But that'd be a great place to start. Play the note value itself on the snare drum single stroke roll, move it around the kit in the basic way. And then final stage, if you're starting out with these, just experiment with how you orchestrate it around the kit. And just get a feel for that, man. That's what this game is all about. Get a nice feel for. Just enjoy playing it, right? That's the thing. Lovely. All right. So thanks so much for watching, as always. And yeah, that's Sextuplets. Amazing flowing note value. As I say, thanks for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, please, as well. Massively appreciate people doing that. And thanks to all the amazing people who've supported this channel. Oh, actually, I've got some shout outs to do in the last few days. Thanks so much to Patricia, Alan, and Tom, who've bought me coffee or some coffees. This is via my support page, Buy Me a Coffee, the link to which is in the video description below. And 3 new members as well, monthly members, Stephen, James, and Dave. Thanks so much, guys, for your support. I massively appreciate it. I'm so glad you're getting value out of these videos and really enjoying it. So these are monthly memberships, which I now offer for £10 a month. You get a whole load of great features. I'll write you a practice plan, so step by step, item by item, with a video link for everything. Practice plan based on where you're at. The way this works is we check in. You get a complimentary 30-minute Zoom session when you sign up for membership. We check in, if you want one, by the way. We check in and we work out where you're at and what your goals are and how long you want to practice for each day. And I'll formulate that plan and send it over to you. You will have that updated each month, or as you progress, when you're ready for the next thing, I'll update it for you, up to 1 update each month. You get access to membership members videos, you get video responses from me. So if you have a question about drumming that warrants a video response, I'll record you a personalized video response and send it back to you. You get priority requests over videos that are on the main channel here, and a ton of other features as well. You get access to all my YouTube playlists laid out in a nice sort of catalog format. Also, you'll be supporting this channel, of course, and helping it grow, which I'd hugely appreciate it if you've found these videos useful and benefited from them. That would be huge. I massively appreciate people who've helped out in that way. So thanks a million. Loads of other great features on that membership front coming up as well. And thanks to everybody who's signed up and supported this way. I really hope you're getting value out of it. And yeah, it's an amazing thing, man, we've got going with that. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Cheers.